Hey guys, it's time for Bible. Make sure you sing along to the worship music that I attached to this assignment and then come back and watch this video. We are going to start this lesson, which starts on page 113, lesson 28, called More Grumbling. Now, we've gone really far into this story about the Israelites, talking about how God has helped them every step of the way. And yet, they continue to complain. It's not a good sign that they trust him or that they really want to continue following him, because they keep complaining every step of the way that he is still with them, he's still helping them. So let's find out what they're complaining about now. On page 113, at the top, it says, "Soon after God delivered the Israelites from the Red Sea, the people began to grumble. This time, they were grumbling because they were hungry." Have you ever complained or grumbled because you were hungry? "Even though they grumbled, God gave them quail to eat in the evening. Each morning, he provided a special food that the people of Israel did not recognize. When they saw it, they said, 'Manna,' which means, 'What is it?'" With your teacher, read Exodus 16, 21 through 27 and 31, and then answer the questions by placing a check mark next to yes or no. So I wrote all the questions. It might be kind of hard to read them, but they're already written in your book, so you don't really need to read them that well. And then instead of me putting a check mark, I'm going to write yes or no next to them, and all you have to do is put a check mark or an X in the box for that answer. So first I'm going to read Exodus 16, 21 to 27 and 31, and let's find out why they were complaining about food. Verse 21. "After the people gathered the food morning by morning, each family according to its need. And as the sun became hot, the flakes they had not picked up melted and disappeared. On the sixth day, they gathered twice as much as usual, 4 quarts for each person instead of 2. Then all the leaders of the community came and asked Moses for an explanation. He told them, 'This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow will be a day of complete rest, a holy Sabbath day set apart for the Lord. So bake or boil as much as you want today and set aside what is left for tomorrow.' So they put some aside until morning, just as Moses had commanded. And in the morning, the leftover food was wholesome and good, without maggots or odor." Maggots are gross bugs that eat rotten food. "Moses said, 'Eat this food today, for today is a Sabbath day dedicated to the Lord. There will be no food on the ground today. You may gather the food for 6 days, but the 7th day is the Sabbath. There will be no food on the ground that day.' Some of the people went out anyway on the 7th day, but they found no food." Now verse 31. "The Israelites called the food manna. It was white like coriander seed, and it tasted like honey wafers." So the people are wandering around in the desert. They don't have supermarkets to go to. They don't have Targets to go to. They have nowhere to get food. So God decides that he's going to send them food. He sends them quail, which I told you yesterday in vocabulary words. That's a small bird that you can cook. And then he also sent manna. And it was like little tiny cracker wafers. They were kind of plain, had a little bit of honey. Really plain, basic food. And what happened was he would send it for that day. You picked up what you needed to eat that day, and then everything else would go bad. So if you actually picked it up for the whole week's worth, then it would go bad the next day, whatever you had saved. Because he only wanted to provide you for that day what you needed at that time. And then the only special day was the day before the Sabbath, which I also talked to you about in vocabulary yesterday. The Sabbath was a day of rest, so they didn't even cook on the Sabbath. It was resting and worshiping day. So they had to cook the food for the Sabbath the day before that happened. And that was the only day that the food stayed good for 2 days, was the day before Sabbath. And then the day after Sabbath, it started all over again. So for example, we kind of look at Sunday as our Sabbath. So Monday, they had to go get the food for Monday. Tuesday, they had to go get the food for Tuesday. Wednesday, they had to go get the food for Wednesday. Thursday, they had to go get the food for Thursday. Friday, they had to go get the food for Friday. Saturday, they went and got the food for Saturday and Sunday because they couldn't cook on Sunday and because God wasn't sending any more food on Sunday. The food was still good for Saturday and Sunday. And then Monday rolls back around and they got the food just for Monday only. If they went out Monday and got food for the whole week, it would be bad the next day. Or if they got food on Monday for Monday and Tuesday, it would be bad on Tuesday. There would be bugs all over it and it would smell. It would be rotten already. God's plan for this was to only give them what they needed at that time. He wasn't trying to give them all this extra stuff that they needed, like snacks and dessert and all these extra things. He was only giving them exactly what they needed. So let's answer these questions, yes or no. All you have to do is put a check mark or an X, and then the last one is fill in the blank, but it's really short. So, first one, were the people to gather the food every day of the week? So this is kind of a tricky question. It's actually no, because they weren't supposed to gather it on the Sabbath. Okay, so then that helps tie into the next question. Were they to gather food on the Sabbath? No, they were not supposed to gather food on the Sabbath. No working, no cooking, only resting, only worshiping. Next, was the food prepared each morning except for the Sabbath? Yes. They would go collect it and prepare it that day only. Okay, next we have, was the food yellow? No, it was not yellow. Did the food taste like honey? Yes. They were like honey wafers. Little plain crackers that had a little bit of honey. Did they collect twice as much food the day before the Sabbath? Yes, because they couldn't collect on the Sabbath. They had to collect double the food the day before. Except for the Sabbath, would the food last more than one day? No, it would not last more than one day. It would go bad the next day. When the people grumbled and complained to Moses and Aaron, against whom were they really complaining? So they would go to Moses and Aaron and say, why is this all we're getting? Why aren't we getting anything better? Why can't we have enough food? Why can't we collect it for more than one day? Why can't we have more? And they would just continue to complain to Moses and Aaron. And it wasn't Moses and Aaron who were providing that food for them. Who was providing that food for them? God was providing that food. So even though they were complaining to Moses and Aaron, it was like, why can't we have more? They were really complaining to God. Why can't we have more food? Why are you not giving us what we want? And God was like, I'm giving you exactly what you need. You shouldn't have to worry about tomorrow. I will take care of you tomorrow, just as I'm taking care of you today. I am giving you exactly what you need. And that's what God's doing for you right now in your life. You might have things around you going on. Why are we stuck at home? Why are we not with our friends? Blah, 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 blah. And complaining about all these things. But really, God's giving you what you need right now. Whatever you need, it might be a little bit different than somebody else, but He's giving you exactly what you need right now. So that's it for page 113. We will go on to the next page tomorrow, but that's it for Bible. I'll see you guys later. Bye.